Hi there, welcome to Where's Wilmington. I'm Lisa Capalla, but I'm sure you already know that. This is a really exciting show I have for you today. It's about the Relay for Life that's held in Wilmington. And I know some of you have seen my shows on the Relay for Life before, but we actually have some new stuff to tell you about this time. So stay tuned, we're gonna have some interesting things to tell you about the Relay for Life. So who I have with me for this first segment here is Kaitlyn Riley. She's in the end. Hi, Kaitlyn. She is the Wilmington Relay for Life chairperson, and then next to her is Tricia Lambert, and she is a 6-year participant, speaker, and caregiver. So welcome, ladies. Pretty exciting time of year coming up for you. June 20th, 21st is the relay, Kaitlyn, yeah? Now, how many years have we been doing this in Wilmington?
This will be the 6th year in Wilmington.
6th year, but this is your first year running the big show?
Yes, it is.
How's it going?
It's good. It's going really well. We're doing pretty well with participants, and we're off to a good start with fundraising.
Excellent. Now, you're going to be holding this somewhere different this year. Let's tell the folks at home about that, because it's usually been either at Shawsheen Tech, right, or prior to that it was at the Wilmington High School.
Yes. So we're bringing it back to Wilmington this year. It'll actually be at the middle school. So we're still working out some details about the specifics of that, but it will be held at the middle school.
Now, how did you yourself get involved with the Relay for Life or the, the Cancer Society, all of that stuff? How did you get involved with that? Because usually there's a reason why people get involved with this particular cause.
I had participated early on. My dad is actually a cancer survivor. He's been in remission for almost 10 years now. So I started participating in the Burlington and Woburn relays, and then the first year that it was brought to Wilmington was my senior year at Wilmington High School. And that was the year that the schools, the teachers really got involved.
Right.
So that was the first year that I was more heavily involved in it.
Okay. And usually we have Joe Martinello here, so you have pretty big shoes to fill.
I do have big shoes to fill,
yes. But I'm sure he's still helping you along the way.
Yes, he's been very involved, and he plans to continue to do that.
Excellent.
He's been helping out a lot.
Excellent. So tell me some of the challenges you're facing and what we can do as an audience to help you to make this event successful.
I think just spreading the word to people. Our goal is to get the community more involved. They've been very involved thus far in the last 5 years, but we're hoping as we're bringing it back to Wilmington to get new participants and to get more of the community feel back to the event.
Right, and I think having it in Wilmington will probably do that. Not that it wasn't great to have it at the Tech, but it'll be nice to have it back in our own backyard. Let's give folks some of the particulars of exactly how the event works. It's going to start on that Friday. Can you tell us the exact times and how that works?
So it starts around 5 or 5:30. Participants can usually come a little bit earlier to set up, but there's a series of, it's centered around 3 ceremonies. So the first one is the opening ceremony, and that's also the survivor ceremony. So we invite all of the cancer survivors in attendance to take a lap, and everyone lines the track and cheers for them. We have a speaker at that point.
Right.
The second ceremony is the Luminaria ceremony, and we have a speaker that's generally a cancer survivor or a caregiver. At that point, and we have luminaria bags that line the track, and they're paper bags that people can decorate in honor of survivors or in memory. And so those are lit up with glow sticks, and we take a lap in the dark just lit by the luminaria bags. And then
you're putting glow sticks in them? Because the first time I saw it, you did candles. Smart to go
with
the glow sticks.
That's the new.
Yeah, I like that.
That's the
because
new route.
I remember watching Joe and his helpers. It took forever to light all those bags. So now you've graduated to the glow sticks.
Yes, we have graduated to the glow sticks.
Excellent.
So I think that was a step that we took last year, maybe the year before. So and then the third ceremony is the closing ceremony, and that's we'll have another speaker at that point. But the 3 ceremonies together represent Celebrate, Remember, Fight Back. So that last ceremony is the Fight Back ceremony, and it's kind of it's partially about prevention and ways to fight back against cancer.
Right. Which is very important. That's a 3-pronged approach, and that pretty much covers it all, right? Now, you've been a speaker at this event. How was that for you? I can imagine that would have been challenging.
It was, and I'll get emotional right now just talking about it. But yes, I did. It's funny. The first year I participated, I just moved to Wilmington. I met an unbelievable group of girls, women, and we called ourselves the Warrior Moms. And I went and did not have I had no close relatives that had cancer. And I just went for them and their relatives and just to, to fight back and to help. And that was the first year. Prior to that, after that, I've been involved as a caregiver. My mom had stage 4 ovarian cancer 5 years ago. She was diagnosed. She's still with us. And it's funny, she actually went today to receive yet another today was her first round of yet another chemo treatment. So we're going through it all over again.
We're glad that the advances, because
Amazing.
I know my mom, you guys probably know from watching at home, my mom has stage 4 lung cancer, and she has been a survivor for 10 years now. Amazing. And I can tell you that, and we'll talk in the second half a little more about the advances with our American Cancer Society rep, but some of the things that they have now weren't available when my mom got sick. And over time, it's the help of events like these that bring research and new treatment modalities and can keep people with us a lot longer.
Oh, absolutely. As my mother was going through it, my father was diagnosed with melanoma.
Oh, my.
We have since lost him. And at one point, my mom and dad were going through the treatments together. And I remember one night I saw the 1-800 number. It was shortly after the walk and the relay, and I took that 1-800 number and I called them. And I don't know what I was going to ask them. I just wanted to see what they had to say to me.
Because don't you find, for me, I find that it's very frustrating that there's nothing I can do.
There's nothing.
I can drive them to the appointments, I can be there for them, but you just feel so helpless.
Absolutely. You have to be their strength. You have to be their rock to get them through it. But I remember calling up that night, and I remember the woman's name. I remember her tone of her voice, and there was something about her, and she just listened. And she gave me resources, and she gave me things that I was brought back to the family and said, this is what we need to do.
So you listened to your intuition. Some people would say that was a voice from the heavens telling you to make that call.
Absolutely.
Depending on your beliefs, right?
I completely believe that.
So once you got into being a participant and a little more involved, what was it like when they said, hey, how would you like to speak in front of all these people? How was that for you?
It was enlightening, actually, because the reason I love Relay for Life so much is you don't know all the people that are around that came out for that survivor, and that field fills up. It's just remarkable to see, and you know that you're not alone, and you know that you want to share your story, and if you can help that one person and give one little tip that they can get through it, I'm not afraid of cancer anymore, but I do want to help, and I do want to see some advances, and the only thing that I can do is do things like Relay and raise money and help the American Cancer Society to better us for our future.
For treatment and hopefully for eliminating it. At some point, it would be nice if we could do that, but
Exactly.
until we can, let's work on helping people to feel better and feel more comfortable. How does the Relay for Life Committee choose who's going to give these speeches? Do you know?
It depends on the year. Generally, we'll just have a discussion as a committee, see if anyone has any ideas. There have been times that we've just opened it up to all participants at the team meetings, said if anyone here wants to speak or if anyone knows of someone that wants to speak. But it's generally just if anyone is interested in speaking, usually they'll come to us, and if not, then we'll...
And I know you've had some pretty heavy hitters along with this lady. You've had Angela Kyra, too, who gave a very moving speech. Yes. I bet that's got to be hard to stand up there and do that, because I do this is different. That's emotions. When you're up there and you're talking about family and life, that's got to be tough to do.
It was. It so was. There wasn't... I started crying the first word I said.
Right.
But I did it for my mom and dad.
Right.
I did it to make them proud and to make them know that, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. That's what it's about.
Every time I talk about it. I did it to show that you can get through it.
Right.
Whether that means you don't make it and you don't win the fight, you can get through it as a family, as a community, as a team. We can do this and we can fight back. So I just felt the need. I had to do it, and I had to tell my mom and dad's story.
And I'm glad you did that.
Yeah, and being a caregiver, people don't realize that is just the hardest job to get through this fight. It's difficult.
I think the caregivers need caregivers. You know, it's a family thing.
You need
extra help. And we don't
cancer.
want to make it sound like this is a somber event.
No.
I know we're getting a little emotional here. But there are stuff to do there for the kids too, right?
Yes.
So let's change our focus a little bit and talk about that. So what kinds of stuff is there for our kids to do with the Relay for Life?
We have a relay fun zone, which it varies a little bit year to year,
Right.
but we usually have some kind of inflatable and moon bounce or something like that. And we have games set up.
And you've had a dunk tank before, too.
We have had a dunk
which is
tank,
always
yes.
fun.
Yes.
Yes.
Um,
And there'll be music.
There will be
And
music.
food.
There's music pretty much throughout the event.
Right.
And we have food throughout. We have food available for purchase at all times. We also have different things that we
Right.
offer just to participants free of charge. And all the events, it's kind of always changing throughout the
Right, because
throughout
it's
the
a
time.
long
It's
time
12
you're there.
hours.
It's 12 hours, so you have to do something to keep the momentum up, you know. Now, when
Yes.
I did it, you had games that were going on in the middle of the event, like on the field.
Yes.
And then everybody was kind of walking around the whole time. It was really fun to do. I enjoyed it. It was
the
a lot of
themes.
fun. Do you know how much Wilmington has raised off the top of your head in the last few years for the relay? Can you give us a basic estimate? Do you know?
It's over the last 5 years. It's somewhere in the range of 700,000.
That
Plus
is pretty
raised.
darn good. I'm happy to hear
I'm not sure of
that.
the exact number.
Okay. And if people wanted to sign up and get involved, how do they do that?
You can go to our, well, if you go to the Relay for Life website, you can search by zip code and find our event.
Okay.
We have a separate URL, wilmingtonrfl.com. That's another option.
Okay.
Signing up online is an option. We also have our team meetings. If you come to any of those meetings, then
Okay.
we can help you
Now, I
register
know
at that
for
point.
the breast cancer work, the one that's always on television, you have to raise a certain amount of money before you can be a team for that. Is this similar to that, Relay for Life, or do you just sign up, and how does that work?
It's not, we don't have a required fundraising amount. We have recommended fundraising levels for individuals and teams. The one level that we do have, if you raise $100, not including your registration fee, that's when the ACS will provide an event T-shirt.
Nice.
And then we have different fundraising levels beyond that.
And we're also going to talk about sponsorship in the second half, too, which is another way people can get involved. What is the registration fee? Just
$10.
Oh.
Yeah.
who can't swing that, right?
Right.
Excellent. Anything final you ladies would like to add in this segment before we go to part 2 and talk to some other folks about this event?
No.
Anything you'd like folks to know? Get out and get involved.
It's a great
It's fun.
it is so much fun. I mean, the group of women that we do it with now have now invited our kids, and now they get into it, and they love it, and it's just a fun time for the kids to come, and it's wonderful. And they have themed laps, so you get to dress up in different costumes.
Right,
and-
the hat
which
one. I
is
remember
so
the one with the
fun.
hats, and there was another one, crazy hair, right?
Yeah, the
All different
80s
stuff.
and yes,
Excellent.
superheroes. It's
changed
fun.
around.
It's
Excellent.
a lot of fun.
Well, I want to thank you both for being with
you
us.
for
Thank you
having
for
us.
for what you did for your parents. That's really nice of you to do that. And Kaitlyn, I'm so proud of you. What a big thing you're doing. Good for you. I hope you'll come back next year and tell us more. All right, stay right there. We'll be back with more of Where's Wilmington. We'll be telling you a little bit more about the Relay for Life, and we'll also be talking about the American Cancer Society as well. So stay right there. We'll be back with more of Where's Wilmington right after this. I hope not. Okay, I can let them up? Thank you. Okay, so now the next victims.
I can't even believe.
See, you did great.
I promised myself I was not going to cry.
No. That's the camera guy. Come on in, camera guy. And Laura, you're the sponsorship chair, right?
I am. I got to think about this, so
Okay.
you can donate as little as you want. We're looking for support.
Don't worry. If it gets in a freaky zone, I'll fix it.
No, you're good.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
You
Thank
are.
you.
And then that's the ATS machine.
What?
Let's see how many facts.
Oh, no, you don't have to go mental with that. It's okay. We'll fix it. Don't worry. Don't worry. And you're the sponsorship chair for Wilmington, right? All right. June 20. Let me know when we're ready.
Yeah, I haven't heard anybody.
That's okay.
Freitas. Oh, Freitas.
Turn my phone on.
She's a Wilmington High School student.
Is Cambridge have to leave that for the back? No, I mean,
Sure you don't want to participate, Manny?
Last chance, kiddo.
Anthony Namo, right? Namo.
You can do a shout out, if you want, to your
He
kids.
would like that.
Yeah, go right ahead. Just say to me, can I? And I'll go, oh, of course, and you will, all right? Aren't you glad you're done, huh? Whew, Kaitlyn.
wait a minute, let me go forward then, I get to do it.
I think it went by really fast. When you're sitting up here, it's quick. Yeah, but, when you're watching.
It is. Okay, microphones, please.
Okay, so I'm all set, so we'll have Laura go next. Laura, do you want to count to 10?
1, 2.
Yeah,
You're going to need to speak up.
she's working
Oh,
on it.
1, 2,
There you go.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Beautiful. And Julie?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Excellent. That's as hard as it's going to get. Don't worry. Okay. Now, are you looking for corporate sponsorships or group teams, or how does that work?
Any and all. Individual,
Awesome.
group.
Okay.
There we go.
Ready? Yep.
At 13, you got 26 seconds?
Yep.
Is that where you're doing it?
Yeah, I can see it, so it's cool.
Fine?
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, she's already.
I'm ready already. Okay.
5 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Hello, welcome back to Where's Wilmington? This is the second half of our show, and we are featuring the Relay for Life. If you missed the first part, we were talking a little bit about guest speakers and the nuts and bolts of the event. We're going to do a little bit more of that, but we're going to shift our focus a little bit. We have Julie Rossio with us. She is the American Cancer Society staff partner for this event, and next to her is Laura Ahern. She is the sponsorship chair for Wilmington. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
So we covered a lot in that first half, but I think before I get to you, Laura, I did want to talk about the American Cancer Society's part in the Relay for Life, because the American Cancer Society really covers all aspects of cancer and the disease and all of that, but the Relay is more focused on the fundraising piece. So tell us a little bit about what the American Cancer Society does.
The American Cancer Society is really focuses on the get well, stay well, fight back,
Right.
Aspect of going through cancer and the
three-pronged
treatment.
approach,
Yep.
Right. How long have
Exactly.
you been with the Cancer Society?
I actually started off as a volunteer 5 years ago.
Okay.
Worked volunteering at a relay, being a participant. Then was looking for a job change and really wanted to get more involved in this organization. So I joined the American Cancer Society about 2.5 years ago.
Okay. What made you decide to participate? Most of us have a special reason why, and what
Yep.
was it for you?
I've seen cancer through majority of my life. My second grade teacher actually got diagnosed and passed away.
Wow.
Or actually passed away when we were in second grade, about 6 weeks before
wow.
school ended. And it kind of snowballed from there.
So that really impacted your life.
Yeah.
I mean, second grade, you're what, 8, 6, 7, something like that?
8,
Wow,
yeah.
so that really left a really
Yep.
big impact on you.
It did. I've had numerous family members, and in September of 2011, my dad actually got diagnosed. So it's definitely hit a lot closer to home now.
Yeah. Now, what kinds of services does the American Cancer Society provide to either caregivers or survivors or people going through treatment?
Yep. We definitely have our 1-800 number, which we had talked about before, is such a great resource. But we have other aspects in terms of providing rides to treatment if cancer patients don't have somebody who can take them to treatment. We also have Hope Lodges, which there's one in Boston.
And that would be a place where the family or the person who's getting treatment could stay.
Yes, they can stay free of charge. They can stay there with their caregivers. So it's really a great opportunity for them and something that we enjoy being able to provide for.
Now, you've been with the Cancer Society how long, did you say?
2.5 years.
So what have you seen in the last 2.5 years or in the time that you've been involved with the relay that's really bolstered your confidence in this fight that we're waging here?
We have seen, as an American Cancer Society, we have increased the numbers of lives that we've saved to 400 a day, which is a huge jump from where we were before. So even in just the past couple of years, we've been able to see an increase in the number of survivors that we have.
And what does a typical day for you look like? What does your job entail? I know you get to do all these fun television appearances, but what else do you do on a regular basis?
We do a lot with working with our volunteers and really doing some of the back work to prepare for events. So whether that's going to a high school and doing an assembly to really get the students involved, meeting with volunteers, meeting with members of the community to just grow the event as much as we can and get as much involvement as we can.
Now, is the Relay for Life the primary event that the American Cancer Society has, or do you manage all the events that we see? There seems like there's so many, but the Relay for Life is really well known.
Yep, the Relay for Life is the signature fundraiser for the American Cancer Society.
Okay, excellent. And maybe people don't know this, but it's done simultaneously, right? Pretty much. I mean, you try to do it that way, don't you?
There are a lot of events in New England. We have the majority of our community events happen between Mother's Day weekend and the end of June.
Right.
So there are a lot of events that are happening in a very short amount of time.
And so that's kind of neat because you feel that momentum or that energy. I think you just are aware that everyone's kind of on the same page, and that's really a nice feeling. Now, you're going to be at the Wilmington Relay?
Yes.
Excellent. And are you a Wilmington resident also?
I am actually a Tewksbury resident.
Oh, that's okay, me too. Yeah, they were allowed to come into the town. They let us now. Okay. And as far as you know, what you see at this event, do you think Wilmington's doing a pretty good job with the fundraising? How are we based on other communities? Not like it's a competition, but just saying.
Yeah, I actually manage 3 events. So we are doing amazing right now compared to all the other events.
But there's always more we can do.
Yep.
Which leads me to speak to you, Ms. Lara, about sponsorship. So what does that mean when we say sponsor the Relay for Life? How does that work, and what does that mean?
That's a great question. So when sponsorship, some people may think that it just means corporate organizations. We also take individual donations as well. So if I haven't reached out to a particular company in Wilmington, expect me to soon.
Right. Okay.
So we're hoping to really reach a very high goal this year that sort of we've put in place for ourselves, not only as our team.
What's the goal? Let's put it out there.
Actually, that's a good question.
How much do you want to raise? Let's try $1 million. How much do we want?
It's definitely endless.
Okay.
So we have something in mind that we know we want to reach, but you know it's endless.
All right. Well, we'll keep it a secret, and you can come back next year and tell me if we made it.
Goal.
I'm sure we will. I have no doubt. So when you say sponsorship, how does that work? Does someone contact you and say, "Hey, I want to give $200," or does somebody say, "Hey, I've got a popcorn machine I want to donate for the night"? How does it work? Is it trade and donation, or how does it work?
Absolutely. So we will take a donation of water, food. So it's not just necessarily a monetary, you know.
Okay, so that means if you don't have money, that means you can still get involved, which is nice, because maybe someone watching is thinking, gee, I'm on such a tight budget and I'd really like to help, but I have nothing I can give. But your time is free.
Absolutely.
And you can donate other things.
Absolutely. You can volunteer your time. So, you know, anytime that I contact an organization, whether or not they want to supply, let's say, for instance, a sub shop or a pizza, if they'd like to donate some food, they can donate some food to the event. If they'd like to give a $25 donation all the way up to a $10,000 donation, we'd be more than happy to accept anything.
Now, let me ask this. When people donate, are their names put on a list so that other people in the community are aware that they've been generous, or is that usually an anonymous type of thing?
It's actually both. It could be anonymous if they want to make an anonymous
you know,
donation.
I get that we want to be anonymous, but I also get that, you know, I would like to give my money to a business that is in line with some of the causes I believe in. So
Absolutely.
I think it's nice to be recognized when you're generous if that's, you know, part of what you want as a person. So how do people get in touch with you if they want to sponsor?
Sure. They can get in touch with me by contacting me directly at c.ahern, A-H-E-R-N, at comcast.net. Or they can, trying to think.
I bet you could look on the website.
Yeah, on the
you
website.
You could search by zip code and I'm sure if someone is willing to give something,
we'll make
you guys
sure.
will find them.
Absolutely.
There will
they
be
can
no way.
make an anonymous donation, or they can give on a corporate at the Wilmington Relay for Life website as well.
Okay. Now, does this work for team sponsorship too? Do corporations sponsor teams, and how does that piece play?
They do. So the individual, we have 18 teams signed up currently right now. So each individual team is eligible to receive corporate or individual donations as well. Myself, I'm a part of the Warriors Moms and Kids team, so we're really excited about that. This year is going to be the first year.
And that's the same team Tricia was on, right?
Correct.
Excellent.
Correct.
Okay.
So we're really excited about that. We have a couple of different fundraisers coming up. One is Wilmington's Got Talent, which we're really hoping to get most of the town involved.
All right, tell us when that's going to be, although this is going to air for a whole month. When is that going to be?
So the live auditions are March 16th and April 13th, and more information to come. You'll see flyers going around town. But whether or not you have a comedy act, a magic act, whether you dance, sing, we would love to have you a part of that.
Okay, so that's one fundraiser you're doing.
Absolutely.
And then the big Relay for Life, which again is June 20th at the middle school in Wilmington. Okay. Were you at the other locations, at the Tech and the Wilmington High School? Yeah. So what did you think about that?
I've been participating for the past 5 years. My kids love participating as well. I have 2 little girls that love participating. I will say it's a great family event to come out, and it's a feel-good event. I myself have been affected with the close family. My godmother had cancer.
I was going to ask you, because, you know, most of us, when we get involved with the cause, it's because something has moved us to do so.
Absolutely.
So what made you decide to do this?
So my godmother was one of them, and then one of my children's special friend at school, a 4th grader, I'm not sure if I can say his name.
Yes, go right ahead, please
His name is Anthony Nemo, has been affected, and he's a cancer survivor.
Hey, Anthony,
go
great
Anthony.
for you, woohoo! All right, that's great.
So,
will he be at this event this year?
We hope so.
Think?
We hope so.
that
We're
would
going to
be
reach
good.
out to him, and we would love to have him.
Well, now that he's a TV star, he has to make an appearance, right?
Absolutely.
And do your kids, you know, get tired out? Because this is like a 24-hour deal.
It
There's
is.
tents usually on the field. For those of you who haven't seen it, people kind of crawl in, crawl out, and sleep, and do all kinds of crazy stuff. But I guess each lap, one member of the team has to be walking. That's the rules,
They
right?
keep the kids busy, and it's fun. I mean, I know my younger one, it was a little stretch for her last year, but you know what? She stuck out there, and we ended up going home at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I think the momentum of the energy that you feel when you enter the area, just when you start to get in, you feel a shift, at least I did, in the energy level.
Right.
Everybody's just over the moon. But boy, by 7 a.m. the next day, they are ready to go, huh? That is like a long event.
Oh, yeah. I think she slept all day the next day.
Yeah, well, I did too. I usually will DJ there at night, so I did that as well. What would you like our viewers to know about the Relay for Life or about the American Cancer Society before we close? This would be your time to ask for anything you really feel you need. I'll start with you, Julie.
Definitely. I mean, the more people that we can get involved in Wilmington and in surrounding communities is definitely the best way. You don't know what the experience is going to be until you actually are there, and Relay is definitely an experience that we want as many people to
And
to
you know,
have as we can.
I don't want to sound negative, but some people are volunteering now and they're not ill. But I've heard cases of where you volunteer and then all of a sudden someone close to you gets sick, or you unfortunately may get sick. Well, then all the work that you've done has actually been to save yourself, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
So, you know, if people get involved, whether they're ill or not ill, or they're touched or not touched, it's going to touch all of us eventually until we can cure it. So you might as well get involved now. That's what I think.
Correct. Yeah.
All right. And what about you, Laura? Anything you'd like our viewers to know?
I'd just like to, you know, to just ask for your donation, for your support, and like you said, whether it's a monetary credit or whether it's just volunteering your time. We live in a great town. It's a great place to raise kids. It's a great way to meet people. and a wonderful organization to support. So, you know, I urge people to get out and then bring their families and participate on June 20th.
Yes, and if you recognize these ladies out in the street, you have to give them a donation when you see them, okay?
That's right.
You have to. Well, thank you both for being here and for the work you do. I really do appreciate it, and I know you're going to have a successful event. For those of you watching, that's June 20th. That's going to be at the Wilmington Middle School. It's a 24-hour event. You know, get involved. If you can't donate your time, maybe there's something else that you can give. I'm sure there's ways you can get involved. So I want to thank you all for watching Where's Wilmington? And I want to remind you the next time somebody asks you Where's Wilmington, you tell them right here and right here on WCTV. We'll see you next time.